ensemble, nous partageons le même sentiment. Tous fiers d'être Camerounais.
Good evening, televiewers, and welcome to the latest news from Cameroon, Africa, and the rest of the world this Thursday, the 22nd of January 2026. Here are the top stories. Mounting piles of garbage, growing health, and rising public concern have pushed Cameroon's waste management crisis to the highest level of government attention. The Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, recently convened a high-level emergency meeting with administrative, municipal and sanitation stakeholders as authorities confront the worsening state of cleanliness in the nation's capital, Yaoundé, and other major cities. And also in this edition, as climate change and shifting global dynamics redefine international cooperation, African Union Media Fellows are meeting European Union officials in Brussels this week with focus on practical solutions to strengthen climate action and chart a more balanced, future-ready EU-Africa partnership as the two continents mark 25 years of cooperation. Those were the top stories of the 6:30 p.m. newscast. These and more right ahead. Thank you for keeping the rendezvous with us on the 6:30 p.m. news. My name is Fabrice Ketinga, your host for today. We open the news with the Brussels is hosting two cohorts of African Union Media Fellows this week as they engage with European Union officials on climate change and the future of the EU-African partnership, marking 25 years of cooperation between the two continents. Jackie Nyebele is on the beat.
Brussels has once again become a strategic crossroads for Africa-Europe cooperation as two cohorts of African Union Media Fellows converge in the heart of the European institution to engage a high-level discussion shaping the future of the partnership between the two continents. Hosted at the European External Action Service in Brussels, the sessions brought together European Union officials and African Union Media Fellows for in-depth exchanges on climate change and the evolving UE-Africa partnership, which marks its 25th anniversary this year. At the center of the discussions was a global gateway strategy launched in 2022 by the European Commission, designed to strengthen sustainable infrastructure, digital connectivity and economic resilience across Africa. Participants also examined the neighborhood, development and international cooperation instrument adopted in June 2021, which consolidates Europe's external financing tools into a single framework. Another key focus was the Team Europe approach, which brings together EU institutions, member states and development banks to deliver coordinated and measurable impact. Concrete achievements were highlighted in areas such as green transition, digital development, including satellite technologies and submarine cable infrastructure, as well as support to health and education systems. Beyond policy discussions, the sessions provided an opportunity for the two AU media cohorts to interact directly with European and African institutions based in Brussels, fostering dialogue, professional networking, and a deeper understanding of the mechanism driving Euro-African cooperation. As Africa and Europe seek to translate political commitments into tangible results, these exchanges underline the critical role of informed and well-trained media professionals in shaping narratives, strengthening accountability, and ensuring that the outcomes of the AU-EU summits in Luanda resonate for beyond diplomatic circles.
And we are back in Yaoundé, where garbage disposal challenges in Cameroon's major cities have again taken center stage as top government and municipal authorities met in Yaoundé yesterday, seeking to seek lasting solutions to the problem of garbage disposal. Chaired by the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, the high-level meeting focused on the growing waste crisis in the capital, Yaoundé, and its impact on public health, the environment, and the image of the city, with a new calls for accountability and coordination as well as urgent action. We have highlights of that high-level meeting which took place yesterday in the following report. The persistent problem of garbage disposal in towns and cities across Cameroon was at the center of discussions during a high-level meeting chaired by the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, in Yaoundé. The meeting brought together key administrative and municipal authorities, including the governor of the Central Region, the mayor of Yaoundé City Council, the senior divisional officer of the Mfundi Division, as well as mayors and divisional officers of the 7 subdivisions of Yaoundé. Also in attendance were officials of companies in charge of garbage collection and waste management in the capital city. Discussions focused on the growing accumulation of waste in the major urban centers, its impact on public health, the environment, and the image of the capital city. Participants examined the challenges facing councils and garbage disposal companies, including inadequate equipment, poor coordination, and population growth, which continues to put pressure on existing waste management systems. Chairing the meeting, Minister Atanganji Paul stressed the need for collective responsibility and greater accountability in addressing the sanitation crisis. He called on local authorities to intensify monitoring mechanisms and ensure that waste management companies effectively carried out their duties. As a concrete measure, the minister promised government support to council through the provision of cleaning equipment aimed at strengthening their operational capacity and improving sanitation across Yaoundé and other urban centers. The meeting ended with a renewed commitment for stakeholders to work together to restore cleanliness in Cameroon cities and ensure a healthier living environment for the population. This ministry will support councils with several equipments in order to combat waste management in Yaoundé.
Henceforth, administrative authorities shall support the city mayor, sub-divisional council mayors, waste collection companies nationwide, so as to keep our cities clean as instructed by Head of State President Paul Biya. We must learn to work with the available resources. Recently, the Head of State granted a special allocation to each municipality in Yaoundé to ensure that the capital remains clean. The mayor of the city has already sent to the local mayors most of the equipments given by this special allocation from the Head of State. In less than 72 hours, the Minister of Territorial Administration will make his own small support to all the municipalities in Yaoundé with 700 wheelbarrows, 700 shovels, 700 brooms, and 700 rakes. So each council will have at least 100 wheelbarrows, 100 shovels, 100 brooms, and 100 rakes. We have to sensitize the population that they should learn to trek at least for 100, 200, or 700 meters to go and dump the trash, their waste, household waste, in the areas identified by the city mayor or by the local administrative authorities. It's important. So it's a collective challenge, and we have to take our individual responsibility.
We stay in line with talking about waste management. This time around, Vilimbe City Council has acquired thousands of trash bins in a bid to ensure that the town of Friendship regains its original nature of being one of the cleanest Cameroonian cities. The trash bins were recently received at the premises of the Vilimbe City Council. Recently, we have details with Benjamin Afanu.
In a landmark effort to improve cleanliness and transform waste management across the Limbe municipality, the Limbe Council has acquired a major consignment of more than 5,000 new trash bins. This is a strategic move aimed at tackling the persistent challenge of garbage and litter in public spaces. The bins arrived at the Limbe Council premises recently, marking the start of an ambitious distribution and waste containment plan for communities throughout Limbe. Limbe's leadership believes that increased access to properly placed receptacles will reduce unsanitary dumping and curb environmental degradation that can help human health, watercourses, and coastal areas. This drive forms part of the 2026 priority budget, which allocates a substantial funding to sanitation and environmental services. The initiative also complements other community cleaning efforts, including the recent recruitment of local youth to assist with sanitation operations and neighborhood sweeps. Authorities of the Limbe Council hope that this move will once again place the town of Friendship in a rightful position as the cleanest city in Cameroon.
And back in Yaoundé, Cameroon is taking decisive steps to secure its most sensitive public records as experts and stakeholders are meeting in Yaoundé to examine the progress of the country's digital transformation and the sustainable securitization of civil status documents. Micheline Bilowa has been following up and put together the following report.
The state of digital transformation and the secure management of public documents, notably civil status papers, is at the center of a forum organized by the National Agency for Information and Communication Technologies, ANTIC. The meeting opened yesterday, Wednesday, January 21st, under the chairmanship of ANTIC's Director General, Professor Ebot Enau. The working sessions focus on current digital transformation trends in Cameroon and the action plan for the digitalization of the National Civil Status Registry. Participants from the public and private sectors, alongside officials from municipal councils, are expected to propose technological solutions and best practices to curb the proliferation of fake-based certificates, update national civil status archives, and ensure full traceability of documents. Addressing participants, the Director General of ANTIC emphasized the importance of securing information systems while promoting local innovation.
It uniquely identifies you as an individual. Uniquely identifies you as an individual. Today you have somebody, an individual, he has a different number, ID number, he has a different passport number, he has a different birth certificate number. That environment creates confusion. And when there is confusion, there can be no growth. There can be no accountability. I encourage you to use products, to use software, to use applications developed by our own Cameroonians. They can do it. Our students in the Faculty of Science, Polytechnic can do it. They are just waiting for the opportunity to do it. So I think maybe we will tie our support to councils, to your willingness to use products that are developed locally. The advantages are numerous. Using locally developed products, the advantages are just too numerous. So we want to encourage you to use locally developed products.
Experts say securing civil status documents is a key driver of transparency, reliable governance, and sustainable development. The forum runs until Friday, January 23rd, 2026.
We now take you to Menchum Division in the Northwest region of Cameroon, where stakeholders in the execution of the 2025 public investment budget have voiced concerns over the slow pace of the executions of the various projects. Either some projects have not yet started or those started remain uncompleted. Recently, the stakeholders urge all other partners to ensure that the projects earmarked for 2025 are completed. What is the level of the execution of the 2025 state budget in Menchum? The following report has an answer. Menchum Division in the Northwest region has recorded a noticeable decline in the execution of its 2025 public investment budget, with several projects either unfinished or still ongoing across the division. The situation has raised serious concerns among local authorities as delays in the project award process and the failure of some projects to even take off continue to hinder development efforts. Many of the projects initially expected to be completed within the budgeted year are lagging behind schedule, sparking frustration among stakeholders and beneficiary communities. The divisional delegate of the Ministry of Economy, Planning and Regional Development has openly expressed dissatisfaction with the slow pace of implementation. She questioned the effectiveness and commitment of actors involved in the execution chain, stressing that public investment budgets are meant to have a direct and timely impact on the living conditions of the population.
Late arrival of punctual credit into the division. Some contractors have been so recalcitrant. They just deliberately did not want to execute on time. As we talk now, they are still below 50%.
According to the delegate, persistent delays not only undermine government's development objective, but also risk eroding public confidence in state-led projects. She called for greater accountability, improved coordination, and strict respect for timeliness by contractors and supervising authorities. The chairman of the follow-up committee has called on all stakeholders to put hands on deck.
To be developmental oriented. We should not be people that we criticize and we destroy. The place where we are supposed to be of help to our population is to see how we can bring things on board and channel it into the right channel. It is only you to bring peace. It's only you to see how development can stay fast.
As Menchum Division grapples with these challenges, authorities are urging all stakeholders to accelerate procedures and ensure that the 2025 public investment budgets are effectively executed to meet their intended goals. The execution of the 2025 public investment budget for Menchum Division stands at 75%, with 41 out of the 61 projects completed. If you are just joining us, you are watching the 6:30 p.m. news live from Yaoundé, Cameroon's political capital. In more news across the country, preparations for the 60th edition of Cameroon's National Youth Day are gathering momentum. In Bamenda, chief town of the Northwest region, the first preparatory meeting for the Northwest was held yesterday under the chairmanship of the Secretary General of the Governor's Office, with authorities expressing confidence in the successful organization of youth-focused celebration. In the littoral region, a similar preparatory meeting took place yesterday, January 21, in Douala, chaired by the Secretary General at the Littoral Governor's Office, Abubakari Haman. The session led to the setting up of various committees tasked with ensuring the smooth conduct of activities marking the 60th edition of the National Youth Day to be celebrated on the 11th of February. On to something else this time around. In Tiko, a locality in Fako Division in the Southwest region, health professionals in Mutengene Rada have received new training and skills following a capacity building initiative that was championed by a non-governmental organization. Benjamin Afanwi tells us more.
Healthcare professionals in the Southwest have upgraded their skills. This was during an initiative led by a non-governmental organization, CAMFORMET, in partnership with Germany. This initiative targeted doctors, nurses, and other frontline health personnel. The event was held through workshops in Motengene, Southwest region of Cameroon, with the main aim of providing continuous local medical education and practical skills to improve the quality of local health facilities. Health officials say such base interventions are key to improving service delivery, particularly in communities with insufficient advanced training. CAMFORMET during the program emphasized on the effective use of diagnostic tools and medical equipment, helping health workers strengthen accuracy and patient management. Cameroonians are hopeful that the skills acquired during this program will help to transform the health sector of Cameroon positively.
We stay in Fako Division this time around. We are taking you to Bokova, a village in Boya subdivision. They now have a new traditional ruler. Barrister Ebe was elected today by kingmakers in the presence of the divisional officer for Boya, Dr. Abba Abdurrahman. The election process was conducted in line with traditional customs and administrative regulations, marking a significant moment for the Bokova community as it ushers in a new phase of traditional leadership. Let's now have an excerpt of the villagers who received their new traditional rulers today. Villagers celebrating the election of their new traditional ruler, Barrister Abel, in Bokova, a village in Boya subdivision. Let's now talk about culture, where Cameroon has taken a decisive step towards reclaiming its cultural artifacts as the Minister of Arts and Culture granted audience to the Ambassador of the Federal Republic of Germany. Discussions were focused on the return of thousands of Cameroonian artifacts illegally exported during the Corona era to Germany. Let's have details of this report with Jackie Newbele.
An audience was granted on January 21st at the National Museum in Yaoundé, where the Minister of Arts and Culture met His Excellency Christian Sedat, Ambassador of Germany to Cameroon. The meeting brought together senior officials and technical staff of the Ministry of Arts and Culture. At the center of the discussions was the repatriation of Cameroonian cultural elements currently held in German museums, an issue that has gained increasing importance in bilateral cultural cooperation between the two countries. Speaking during the audience, His Excellency Christian Sedat expressed appreciation for the warm welcome and reaffirmed the German government's commitment to supporting the repatriation process. He describes the return of cultural artifacts as a major component of cultural dialogue and cooperation between Cameroon and Germany. Keynote intervention by technical directors of MINAC highlighted the state of cooperation between the two countries and outlined the institutional framework put in place by the Cameroonian government. The discussions also reviewed past collaborations in the area of archives, notably the technical support provided by Germany's Bundesarchiv in organizing and preserving German archives in Cameroon. In the museum sector, officials presented the different categories of museums in Cameroon and explained the procedures for receiving returned artifacts at the national level before their redistribution to divisional and subdivisional museums. Experts warned that poorly managed repatriation processes could fuel identity frustration and social instability, making coordination and transparency essential. Addressing participants, the Minister of Arts and Culture emphasized the cultural, spiritual, and historical value of the artifacts to Cameroonian communities. He reiterated that repatriation is a state-driven process conducted through official negotiations between governments. The minister stressed the importance of respecting the national strategy validated by the government, ensuring the safe return, conservation, and equitable redistribution of artifacts so that communities may be reunited with their cultural symbols. He concluded by commenting the constructive engagement of the German government, expressing confidence that continued dialogue will lead to concrete and lasting results.
In our third page tonight, the death has been announced of legendary Cameroonian artist Elchik Echongdong, popularly known by his artistic name Amumba Express. Amumba Express is reported to have died on Tuesday after an accident he had on the Bamenda, that is on the Boya Douala Highway. Let's revisit the beautiful memories of Amumba Express, who was one of Cameroon's most popular artists in the 90s. Cameroon is mourning the loss of one of its most cherished musical icons, legendary artist El Chick Echongdong, known by his artistic name Amumba Express, a proud son of Ngi in Menchum Division, Northwest region of Cameroon, has passed away. The celebrated musician died on Tuesday, days after sustaining serious injuries in a road accident that occurred in Boya on Monday. News of his passing has sent shockwaves across the country, especially among lovers of classic Cameroonian music who grew up listening to his distinctive sound. Amumba Express was more than just a musician. He was a cultural ambassador. He rose to national fame in the 1990s with his timeless hit African Food Collection, a song that creatively showcased the rich diversity of Cameroonian cuisine, from the grass fields to the coast, from the forest to the Sahel. Through music, he told stories of identity, unity and pride in African culture, making his work resonate far beyond entertainment.
If you want to marry Casa woman, prepare. You got to prepare. Prepare to eat bongo chubby, prepare. Even if you want to marry my country woman, prepare. You got to.
At the peak of his career, Amumba Express stood out as one of the most outstanding musicians of his generation. He was widely regarded as most popular artist from the Northwest region at the time, earning admiration both home and abroad. His songs were played at social gatherings, on radio stations, and in homes across the country, cementing his place in Cameroon's musical heritage. He rose to prominence in the 1990s, a period often described as a golden era of Cameroonian music, when his unique style and cultural themes set him apart. As Cameroon bids farewell to this musical legend, tributes continue to pour in from fans, fellow artists and cultural stakeholders. Though Amumba Express is gone, his music message and legacy will live on through the music he left behind. May his soul rest in perfect peace. That peace takes us out of Cameroon, where 62 hostages have been freed in northwest Nigeria, as 8 soldiers were killed in a Boko Haram attack in the northeast of Nigeria. We have a compilation of the world news roundup with you, Micheline Bilowa.
In Nigeria, 62 hostages have been freed in the country's northwest following a security operation, according to local authorities. The release comes amid continued violence as 8 Nigerian soldiers were killed in a separate attack attributed to Boko Haram in the northeast. The incidents underline the multiple security threats facing the country, from jihadist insurgency to banditry, despite ongoing military operations aimed at restoring stability. Humanitarian organizations are warning of deadly living conditions in Gaza, citing a critical shortage of fuel. Aid agencies say hospitals, water desalination plants, bakeries, and emergency services are at risk of shutting down without immediate fuel supplies. According to humanitarian groups, the lack of fuel is worsening the humanitarian crisis, threatening thousands of lives as access restrictions and continued fighting hamper relief efforts. Greenland's government has published a crisis preparedness manual urging residents to be ready to survive independently for at least 5 days in case of emergencies. The guide comes amid growing geopolitical tensions in the Arctic and renewed international interest in the territory, notably from the United States. Authorities stress the document is not linked to an immediate threat, but aims to strengthen civil resilience against possible crises such as supply disruptions, extreme weather, or security tensions. Citizens are advised to stock food, water, and essential supplies.